All right, let's dive into a really powerful, almost cinematic story. It's an allegory, really, about the quiet ways we get lost and the absolutely relentless way we can be found. It's called The Relentless Rescue.
This story just kicks things off by challenging a huge misconception. We tend to think that getting lost is this big, dramatic event, right? A conscious decision to just walk away. But what if it's not like that at all? What if it's not a sudden storm, but more like a slow, quiet drift?
And that leads us right into the first part of this journey, the subtle drift. See, it's not about a sudden departure. It's about this slow, almost unnoticeable slide that starts with just one, seemingly tiny step.
And look how it happens. It's actually pretty logical, which is what makes it so sneaky. It just starts with chasing something that looks a little bit better, greener grass. So you focus on that immediate reward, what's right in front of you, and as you do that, the shepherd's voice, that guiding presence, it just kind of fades into the background. You don't even notice it's gone until you finally look up.
And this is that moment. That's when the world around you just seems to turn on you. The warm golden light is gone, and everything becomes cold, gray, hostile. You look around, expecting to see the rest of the flock, but there's nothing, just an empty horizon that feels completely alien.
This is what we call the realization. It's that gut punch moment, the shift from thinking, oops, I'm a little off course, to the chilling understanding that you are in real, actual danger. You're not just lost anymore, you're prey, and the silence of this wilderness is about to get really, really loud.
That realization then spirals into our second stage, being trapped in the thorns. This is what some call the dark night of the soul. It's where being lost turns into being completely trapped.
So pure panic kicks in. You try to fix it, right? You try to find your own way back, but every path you take just leads to a steeper cliff. It only makes things worse. Then you stumble into the briars, and the more you fight, the more you struggle, the tighter they pull you in. It's just this state of total exhaustion and utter helplessness.
So what are these thorns really? Well, this slide breaks it down. They're an allegory for all of life's tangles. Things like addiction, or debt you can't get out from under, broken relationships, that crushing anxiety that feels like it has a physical grip on you. This is the part of the story that feels so painfully real for so many of us.
And right there, in that dark, tangled place, a voice starts to whisper. It's the lie the wilderness tells everyone who gets lost. It says, you've gone too far. You're not worth saving. Why would he come for a mess like you? It's the voice of despair, and it's telling you that you are officially a lost cause.
But while all that is happening, there is another side to this story. A completely different narrative is unfolding. Let's shift our perspective to the shepherd and what the story calls a different calculation. So back at the fold, the shepherd does a head count. 99. 99 are safe. Now, by any normal, logical standard, that's a massive success, right? You protect the majority. You secure the asset.
But this is where gospel grit just operates on a totally different system. Human logic says protect the 99, cut your losses. Gospel grit says risk it all for the one. Human logic might say, well, the one was foolish, but this logic says no one is disposable. It is a radical, completely counterintuitive decision.
And I want you to notice his mindset here. The shepherd isn't heading out into the storm angry or resentful. No, he's focused. He knows the dangers. He knows the terrain. This isn't about punishment. It's about a rescue. He is absolutely on a mission.
And all of this builds to the climax of the story, the turning point, the rescue itself, carried out by what the source here calls scarred hands.
Just imagine it for a second. You're at your absolute end. You've given up all hope. And then, through the wind, you hear it. Not a shout, not a thunderclap, but a steady, rhythmic, determined sound. The sound of someone coming for you.
And then, through the darkness that has swallowed you whole, a single point of light cuts through. Hope has arrived.
And the shepherd's response when he finds you is it's remarkable. There's no lecture, no I told you so. He doesn't just hand you a map and say good luck. He sees the whole mess, the thorns, the blood, the fear, and he reaches right into it. He patiently, carefully begins to untangle you from the very thing that trapped you.
And this, right here, this is the very essence of gospel grit. His hands are cut and torn by the exact same thorns that trapped you. He willingly takes the consequences of your drift onto himself. The rescuer absorbs the pain of the rescue.
So finally, let's unpack what all of this really means. This is about so much more than just being found. It's about what happens next. It's about being carried home.
Because when you're finally free from the thorns, but you're too broken, too exhausted to even stand, the shepherd doesn't just point the way home, no. He lifts you onto his shoulders. Your weight literally becomes his weight. Your exhaustion becomes his burden to carry. You don't have to earn your way back. You are simply carried.
And this is the core message of the entire story. It changes everything. That awful feeling of being too far gone, it was never true. It was just a lie the wilderness told you. The reality was you were never out of reach. You were just in the process of being found.
So we're left with this final, powerful question to think about. What if our entire definition of safety is wrong? What if the most dangerous place in the world, that dark, lonely wilderness, actually becomes the safest place you can possibly be, simply because that's where you end up in the arms of the one who came to find you? It's something to think about.